Welcome in to the latest episode of the Betting the Pitch Soccer podcast. I'm your host, real_G Warner. Tonight, we are at halftime of Monday Night Football here in the United States, the Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans. So I figured why not waste 10 minutes and go through an entire Champions League match day 3 episode. So it's going to take far more than 10 minutes, but thank you for coming in. I know it's late for a lot of you, almost 11 p.m. Central Time, probably the latest Monday Night Football game I've ever watched. But here we are, and I'm going to take first look at the lines, try to give you my kind of opinions where we're going to potentially go tomorrow. Ultimate best bet, we're 8-3 so far this year. Going to try to keep that streak going. Going to pick a favorite selection from the Tuesday Champions League card, also the Wednesday. Smash that into a 1 minute video on or so 1 minute or so on YouTube at the real_G Warner. Now up to 207 subscribers. Thank you for the new ones who've come on here. I'll try to find your names and shout you out later. Also available on Instagram if you're interested in that. And of course, if you want to join the Patreon team, patreon.com/real_G Warner. Best spot to get all my plays across all sports. And I think it's time to get into it. So let's start. First matchup, probably not a lot of interest for a lot of the gambling public, but we'll start with Kairat Almaty hosting Paphos in probably the smallest clubs ever to play each other in Champions League. Kairat, a quarter goal underdog at home with all the juice totals 2.25, and it is juiced all the way to under. Paphos, they got a goalless draw in their opener despite a red card, and that's been the best highlight of their Champions League so far. Got smashed by Real Madrid. Excuse me, Kairat did that happened to them, the home team to here. Paphos going on the road. I don't have much to say, unfortunately, beyond I'm not sure how many people are going to watch this one. It is an early start, 11:45 Central Time kickoff on the 21st of October, 12:45 Eastern Time, and I think it's about 6:45 through most of Europe. But can't imagine there's a huge handle here. I think I'm going to try to get and learn a little bit about where this is going and where this number is moving because to me, that's where the value is in seeing how the market treats these two teams and then figuring out if I want to treat them like that in the future. So we're going to move on to the next matchup of much bigger clubs, including one of the biggest in the world. We'll go to Barcelona. I don't know if we're going to have Camp Nou for this one, but it seems like that was close, but it's been a while and still hasn't been approved. So we'll see. But Barcelona, 2 goal favorites right now to Olympiacos. A little bit more juice, 2 cents more on Barcelona. Totals 3.5 in this one, juice very heavily to under. So the manager of Olympiacos, Jose Luis Mendilibar, is a former of a bunch of the Basque clubs, smaller teams in northern Spain, and he's known for playing a high line. Not exactly the same Hansi Flick high line. I think that's his dream. But the biggest club that I've seen him work for was Sevilla. So that hasn't really worked out exactly as he hoped. But I think there's a decent chance that Olympiacos get absolutely skewered here. Also, a chance that Olympiacos are built to play away. He's been there a long time, and Olympiacos to me as a 2 goal underdog looks like a gigantic price. I don't think Barcelona's as strong as they were last season. We'll see, and I think a lot of that will be determined by how they play, how they fare against Real Madrid, and deciding if they can win the Spanish La Liga again. But Champions League still important to them. Made it to the semifinals last year before going out to Inter, and I think this is a name your score type of setup. I don't know that Olympiacos are good enough defensively to just hang around in this one, but I think that's what their strategy will be. So I think biggest interest for me is you essentially get an extra goal and a half by playing under 3.5. I don't know that Olympiacos will score here. Team total is 1/2 of a goal, a little bit juiced to over. So I think we see a low scoring game, but let's move to the bigger portion as Seattle has just kicked off. So Arsenal, a 1 goal favorite to Atletico Madrid. Most of the juice on Atleti. Total in this one is 2.5, juiced a little bit more to under than to over, as CJ Stroud is helping out the real_G Warner. Bankroll for tonight with another just, I mean, he's been under pressure this whole time, but this is a soccer show, so we'll get back there. Arsenal's a 1 goal favorite. So I think the Premier League is much more for the taking for Arsenal this season, though a lot of that was their own doing last year. One of the deepest squads ever. I'm kind of amazed they keep spending as much money they have, and a little surprised that Mikel Arteta has stayed around as well. But at this point, I think there is some value in potentially backing Atletico Madrid here because they have I don't know if I would say turned around their season, but really, really huge run into the international break, beating Real Madrid at home. Also, did a great job to smack who was it? Eintracht Frankfurt around in a as a big favorite. Still, were really good about it. I think from where I sit now, I think Atleti. I mean, it took them a while to get going, but I think they are capable and have some of that ability. They're a one goal underdog. Love getting a full push, though certainly going to Arsenal will be difficult. And I think that the difference here for Atleti is I generally would want to play under 2.5 here. And I think that's because Arsenal control games by pinning their opponents in as deep as pretty much anyone in this entire world. I feel like a lot of teams, they now almost treat the Arsenal match like they did with Manchester City in the past, just didn't care about trying to score and trying to defend the whole time. Mostly the English clubs, but we've seen that from the clubs in Champions League as well. I think Atletico Madrid are a little bit too proud to do that, or don't really have the team for such all-out defense like they had in the past. But I think that's their best means of getting a point here or trying to keep this a low-scoring game. So I like the +1. I like the under 2.5. Both, I think, pointing to a direction that we see a low-scoring match, and then Arsenal really decide the total and, of course, the side. To the next matchup, we'll go Bayer Leverkusen, three-quarter goal underdog to PSG right now, Paris Saint-Germain. Total is 3 in this one. Juice is split both ways, and a lot of juice on PSG, potentially going to climb to a one-goal favorite. So Leverkusen, I've been trying to be against them for a lot of the season. I felt like losing Xavi Alonso was going to be a big deal, though I think he's extremely overrated. But then they unfortunately fired Eric Ten Hag way too fast before I could really make enough money against him. Shame on me or disappointing. And they've been a little bit better under the former Denmark national team coach, who I guess had been at Wolfsburg before in the German Bundesliga, so he's not completely unknown to Germany. But PSG, I mean, they've gone through a crisis where they had pretty much Bradley Barcola in their front line as the only player that was recognizable and available. But then they won a match late with Gonzalo Ramos off the bench on the road at Barcelona. So it's hard to say that wouldn't happen again. I think Leverkusen is the side I want here. I don't play road favorites, as anyone who listens to my podcast across this platform. Through Betting the Pitch on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on YouTube at @the_Real_G Warner, on pregame.com. I mean, you would have heard me for years talking about how I'm an underdog and home underdog, especially player. And I think that's the way I lean for Leverkusen at the moment. I don't know that I want to play an under with PSG at this point. I do think they're going to score less in Champions League versus in the Farmers League, as the English media likes to call the French League. But I think for me, I think there is probably more value on Leverkusen if they get to a one goal, full goal. It's out there and expensive across the marketplace. And I think we'll see PSG money coming in, assuming the lineups are full. Moving next to Union Saint-Gilloise hosting Inter Milan, currently the Belgian champions. Gotta be. Well, Bruges is in this competition, so maybe not. But Union Saint-Gilloise certainly have been climbing and playing a lot better. I mean, climbing through competitions, selling players, and still having a lot of success. They're three-quarter goal underdogs at home to Inter. Total is 2 3/4. Juice very heavily to under. More juice on the Union Saint-Gilloise home underdog, as the theme remains. So Union Saint-Gilloise were not very good against Newcastle, but conceded 2 penalties. Not sure I agreed wholeheartedly with them, but being on the other side certainly can explain some of that. And I think Inter, we've seen, got off to a slow start. Manager said some weird stuff about how we're going to lose a couple times this year. So if it happens now, it happens now. I don't know if you say that when you lose to Udinese at home, but it was said. And Inter have turned it on. Their defense has been great. They've been an awesome underbet in Champions League. I think that's where I feel this one will be. I'm scared of fading Inter at the same time. Lautaro Martinez is awesome now that he's healthy and back in the lineup. Marcus Thuram has been great. I mean, club is so deep, and that's part of why I think Inter are really, really strong in this competition in Italy, as well as I have some money on them winning Serie A as well, which didn't look great at the beginning, but it's a long season, incredibly long in soccer as well. I think Union Saint-Gilloise, they are not talented enough for me to feel very confident they're going to score on Inter. And so I think I like under here, under 2 3/4, and would probably like the +1 a little bit more interesting if it gets there, but we don't really have that. It's probably way too expensive right now across the marketplace. Move next to Newcastle, 1 goal favorites to Benfica. More juice on Benfica on the road. Total is 2 3/4. Juice is split both ways in this one. And Newcastle are great at home. I'm not sure I'm a believer in them in this competition fully, but I think they're really solid. I think Benfica have shown that they are far from where they were just a few seasons ago. Big club of in Portugal and Lisboa or Lisbon, growing talent bases and certainly adding to their squad, but then selling a lot of those players as well. I think from a total perspective, I worry that Newcastle can score a bunch of goals, so that's scary. And then from a side, I guess I like Benfica as a one goal underdog, but I think they're going to really have trouble in St. James's Park. It's a really, really tough place to play, and I don't love that idea so much. But full goal of insurance is sometimes going to give you that free movie, as my NFL co-host Anders Schnicker says. So maybe that gets us there. But whew, that's a tough place to go, and I'm not sure I feel confident enough with Benfica's defense to do that. Moving next to Villarreal, they are hosting Manchester City. Currently, Villarreal three-quarter goal underdogs at home, a little bit more juice. Total is three, juiced all the way to under. Might lose this price, but I'm not so concerned about really playing unders with Man City. I still don't believe in them defensively. Villarreal, so in the Real Madrid pre-match coverage on ESPN, Luis Garcia, Lucho, who's I think one of the better journalists out there. I think there's some really good soccer followers that know what they're talking about. Plenty that don't, but um, Luis Garcia was saying that Villarreal had been a want the ball, possess the ball, create everything, and that's how they were playing in past seasons. And it got them to Champions League, but they've kind of changed their mantra despite the same manager, haven't changed that over, and are instead looking to counterattack, let you have the ball, and let you screw up. Manchester City are experienced in this world of having the ball and taking yellow cards or fouls to prevent counterattacks. Um, but they don't really do this too often on the road. I feel like Spanish and any non UK England based club and playing an English one in Europe is always going to be disrespected. So Villarreal are very interesting to me as a home underdog. Like three-quarters of a goal, would love a full goal of insurance as well. But bet Monaco, they had a good comfort behind draw, which was important, and it's a 1.5 goal underdog in the last match day. That was certainly good enough for me. Um, I still think there's some value going against Man City, even though we made $1 billion against them last season, and the market never really changed its opinion. Moving next to Copenhagen, they're hosting Borussia Mönchengladbach. Currently, Copenhagen, they are a half of a goal underdog at home. All the juice on Dortmund. Total is 2 3/4, juiced all the way to under. So, similar number to what Leverkusen were as a quarter goal favorite, I believe, on the road at Copenhagen, and Copenhagen were better the whole time. Should have won the match. I think conceded twice to surrender leads. Dortmund have gotten off to a good start at their Clasico this weekend on the road at Bayern in Munich. So that's certainly going to potentially limit their legs or will challenge them to get up for back-to-back road matches, especially after the biggest one you play every season. And I'm not saying that just because I'm wearing a Bayern shirt. If you're not watching on video, probably for the best. But if you are watching, hello. I think Copenhagen as a half of a goal underdog most interesting to me. There is some truth to Dortmund playing a lot better defense because they're a little bit more sensible when they go away from home, to be frank. But I think Copenhagen to me, I think I like the side half of a goal better. Though I guess I do lean under 2 3/4 as well. Though they've shown they can score more than I think I'd really want to play with an under because I'm never really sure that I want to trust the Dortmund defense, but. They've been playing better this year, and they do seem to defend in Champions League much better than they do in the German Bundesliga, where they have to win every match. In Champions League, they play differently. To the last match on Tuesday, then we'll throw out our ultimate best bet selection for Tuesday. Wait till the end of the show, and you'll get it pushed up against Wednesday, and we'll decide which one we're going with. But PSV Eindhoven, quarter goal underdogs at home to Napoli. Total is 2 3/4, juiced all the way to under. A lot of juice on the Eindhoven side. So PSV are going to be booed by a great home crowd. That's how Holland always works, and that's something that I believe in. Napoli, to me, started the year off really well, not playing well, but getting the results. Things have changed a little bit. They had a loss at Milan when the market really didn't believe in them that match day, and they went up 2-0. Milan did, and then took a red card penalty, which ended up the final 2-1 score. I think from a uh, total perspective, Napoli are just a different club now. I mean, they were under Conte, they take a lead, they sit on it, but they've added so much talent to their squad. They've done a lot of business, so that's something that scares me in a lot of directions, but it specifically scares my underlean. So I think PSV, a quarter goal underdog at home in a very, very tough stadium to play in for any big favorite, or favorite in general, Napoli, not a big one, but a favorite at the same time. I'll put PSV on my list. I don't know that I have much I want to do with the total in that one, I must say. So, for the ultimate best bet portion of the Tuesday part of the show, I will throw the Villarreal three-quarter goal underdog out there as my selection. We'll see if we can get a full goal of insurance before kickoff on Tuesday at 9 or so p.m. or 9 at night, 2100 hours across most of Europe, and we'll see what happens after that. Let's see if we got any comments in here or make sure that the sound check is good. Gosh, mic is muted. Here we go. Not great. How did that happen? Now we're back. I hope that we didn't just lose all of Tuesday, but you know, maybe we did. And if so, I'll do another episode tomorrow, but I hope that it'll all come through. So we're plugged in. Let's go to Wednesday now. Hopefully, this will all actually make it. Let's see. Okay. Wednesday. We'll start with Athletic Club Bilbao hosting Karabag. Currently, Athletic Club a 1.5 goal favorite with more juice. Total is three. Juiced very heavily to under right now, potentially seeing this one fall. Karabag off to a good start. Have been more competitive than I think most would have expected in Champions League so far this season. I don't know that I really believe that will continue, but Athletic Club have been not playing well. A lot of that has been due to important players being injured. But finding goals is a big, big question. So Karabag under three would be my biggest interest in that matchup. Move next to Galatasaray hosting Bodo Currently, Galatasaray 1 goal favorite with almost all the juice. Totals 3.25, juiced all the way to over. Bodo they're a goal scoring team. Norway, Minnow, not a lot is expected of them. I thought played well at Tottenham, but ended up losing. And I think they have some talent. So to me, I think that's what happened. Let me see. Bodo Tottenham. I know they played last year in the Europa League. Yes, so it was not losing the lead, I guess, in equal with a 2-2 draw in match day two. So now the big question though, Bodø/Glimt, they have to go on the road. I think they knocked out Lazio, I want to say, in Europa League last season before Lazio came crashing down. But going to Galatasaray is a very different situation going on the road to a Turkish champion or one of the biggest clubs in Turkey. That's a scary thing. I do think the full goal of insurance is of interest to me. I don't think that I want much to do with the total here because Bodø Glimt are going to try to score goals, and I like that strategy. Jons Peter Hauge from his few, I think, 6 months or so, or half of a season in in Frankfurt. He's got some ability. Looking anytime goal scorer, interesting, might be. Move next to Monaco hosting Tottenham. Currently, Monaco quarter goal underdog at home with all the juice. Total is three, juice all the way to under. Tottenham are really talented, have a lot of depth. It's amazing how much they spent with Joseph Levy leaving and bringing in a new manager. But things seem good, but they also are Tottenham, and they seem to have some of those things they just can't seem to get away with, that they keep losing games they really not necessarily should, but they have that problem, it seems to me. Monaco are, I mean, they're doing a lot of construction on their stadium, don't have much of a presence there anyway. So that's all a real big question. But I think the home underdog is not something I want to look away from, especially back-to-back times against Premier League sides. We'll see where this number goes. It's looking like it'll go to Monaco as a pick 'em. I think I'm not afraid of that. And I don't think I want much to do with the total because both these teams can score goals and they both seem to want to. We'll next move to Atalanta hosting Slavia Prague. Currently, Atalanta 1.25 goal favorite. Almost all the juice on Slavia Prague away. Total is three, juice very heavily to over. And I haven't really agreed with the perception of Atalanta for most of the seasons. I think specifically most happening in the Italian Serie A. But Slavia Prague, I know what they're going to do. They got dominated on the road at Inter last matchup. Now they're away again, but they will defend and they will try throughout. And I don't know that they're going to be able to score much. So under three looks very interesting to me. And I think I like that a lot more than I do the 1.25 goal underdog. Move next to Eintracht Frankfurt hosting Liverpool, a really tough matchup after getting throttled by Atletico Madrid. Eintracht are a 1 goal underdog at home. More juice on the home team. Totals 3.5. Juice very heavily to under. So Liverpool coming off a big rivalry matchup with Manchester United. That's challenging for sure. I think um, I mean, they care about both competitions. I would expect Arne Slot to do as little rotation as possible, though he has shown a little bit of that with not starting Mo Salah and stuff this year. We'll see what that looks like and how the lineups come. That's why I usually try to tweet some things out right before lineups are launched on Wednesday or an hour before every game. Sometimes hour and 15 for Champions League matches. But I tried to fight for it. The problem for them, their quality. They know how to get good players. They get attract. The up and comers from French League 1 and then sell them off pretty much or sell them on. Problem is their defense has been pretty weak, and I do feel like Liverpool. I don't really like their defense much. I think they can score goals though, and Eintracht Frankfurt will be in trouble. With all that said, I am interested in the home underdog getting a full goal of insurance because it's a monstrous number, especially for a great home crowd. But I'll pass on the under 3.5. We'll move next to Real Madrid hosting Juventus. Currently, Real Madrid 1.25 goal favorites. All the juice on Juve away. Total is 3 and juice very heavily to under. And I can only really lean to the Juve side here, getting a goal and a quarter because it's a gigantic number. But their defense has been really problematic, and I'm concerned that a really defensive club has become an offensive one, and they will not be good at either part of it, especially as I hold them in a Champions League, Europa League pool. So I think the total at 3 makes sense. It's higher than it probably would have been last season, the year before, of course. But um, I'll lean to the goal in a quarter. I don't know it'll make on the card. Bayern Munich then 2 goal favorites at Club Bruges. Currently 3.75 is the total. A little bit more juice on over. A lot of juice on Bayern, and they are terrifying. They score a ton of goals. Club Bruges are going to play with them. I think they're probably going to try to defend, or they're going to be forced into defense, but they're going to try to score too. I don't think I want much to do with any sort of unders for Bayern unless I know someone is literally going to do everything they can to batten down the hatches and not let them score. I think Bruges +2 is my biggest interest here, and we'll see if we get more than that. A couple more matches left to go, then we'll get out of here with the ultimate best bet and try to watch the last quarter and a half, maybe, of the Seahawks and the Texans. Not a lot's been going on since we've been recording. Thank you for those of you that are here live. And of course, if you're watching the recorded version, I might be recovering at that point. But if you're watching the recorded version, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Ask a question if you want something reviewed, covered, mentioned. That all helps. Gets more people to see the podcast and hopefully grows us to even bigger audience so I can quit my real jobs. But moving now to Chelsea hosting Ajax. Currently, Chelsea 1.75 goal favorites with all the juice. Total is 3.5, juice all the way to under. Chelsea are still young, still immature, or maybe they're just fine players and don't have great discipline. I don't know if that's Enzo Maresca's fault. He seems like a quality manager and kind of knows what he's doing, but with all the red cards they've been receiving this season, it's hard to guarantee that. Oh my God. Sam Darnold just fumbled in the end zone. What an absolute clown. Should have taken a safety, tried to switch hands. Oh my God. And that is how you let other teams into a game. So back to Ajax. They're horrible too. Worse than Sam Darnold, end zone decision making. So I think I'm probably gonna let this one go because I don't have really an interest in Ajax. They've been horrible compared to where they were a few seasons ago, and their defense is bad. Chelsea's defense is not great, but they can certainly score goals. So I'll move to the last matchup. That's Sporting Lisboa, quarter goal favorite at home to Olympique de Marseille. Totals 2.75, just very heavily to over, a little bit more juice on the Sporting side. I'm tempted by Marseille in this one. They can certainly score goals. I like that in any road team. Though I do worry Marseille's struggles away from home have been significant, especially in Europe over the years. They got screwed at Real Madrid, ridiculous handball call for a penalty that cost them a match. I think they took a lead in. But I think for me at this point, I am certainly not a believer in Sporting Lisboa at this point. So ever since Ruben Amorim, apparently he was great there, awesome. They were killing everyone in Champions League. He goes to Manchester United, and nothing's worked at either place since. But um, I think the Marseille side is certainly where I'm interested. I don't know that I want to really take a team, and I don't know if you'd argue that French Liga is that much bigger than Liga Portugal, but I do. I advise anyone listening to this podcast, if you're looking to back big names in Champions League, that's a scary thing to do because usually the value is not on their side. Of course, they cover and things like that occur, but it's always a concern for me, and I'm not sure that's something that I necessarily want to do. So, for the ultimate best bet on this episode, or at least for the Wednesday portion, I'll plug some things and then we'll record the actual ultimate best bet. Or I'm doing that now separately, but I'll give you the recap of what we chose on Tuesday if you missed that or joined late or something like that. But I think there's a lot of value potentially on this Wednesday card. I think we see some low scoring matches. Champions League, sometimes you'll see a lot more goal scoring because both teams can score, but also both want to score. So there's not going to be a team that's defending for their life the whole time, most likely. But I think for me right now, I'll go Monaco, quarter goal underdogs at home to Tottenham. That seems the most interesting to me at this point. I think that I'm a little worried that number might not stick around, so I'll be watching that like a hawk. If you're a member of my Patreon, patreon.com/real_G Warner, if I lock it in, I will let you know. Sign up, download the application, and you'll get a notification if you turn them on when I lock something in. And that's what most of subscribers do, and that's what I'd recommend moving forward. So let's check in to see if I got any comments. We do have some people on your live late night. Appreciate that. Hopefully, I didn't freak out with Sam Darnold. I don't think I was screaming though, so I think we're okay there. And then hopefully you can rewind if there was some muted portion. I guess I will upload tonight the remainder or the whatever Zoom version, which will hopefully not have the audio issue that we might have had earlier. But other than that, oh yeah, I was gonna shout out some YouTube subscribers if they told me. I think they did. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, Dan Wilson's crying on camera right now. That's tough. Let's see. Oh. We got a notification that something's live because I'm literally talking right now. Uh, yeah, Alex Alejandro, Vim Vitens, the last ones that I got emails about, but I know the numbers are climbing. So thank you for whoever you are for re-establishing your YouTube account if you're a long time subscriber or whatever it's been. I appreciate it. And if you want to do even more than just the episodes, make sure you go check out patreon.com/real_G Warner. So, time for the ultimate best bet. Let's get into that right now. On Tuesday, I gave you Villarreal, a three-quarter goal underdog at home to Manchester City. On Wednesday, Champions League, we went Monaco, quarter goal underdogs to another Premier League side, and that is Tottenham Hotspur. But for the ultimate best bet in this episode, I will go Villarreal, three-quarter goal underdogs. I'll be waiting in the bushes, waiting for a +1 to pop at a reasonable price. Don't have that yet. But I think we'll get there. I think Villarreal will do a lot to stifle a Manchester City offense that I don't think is better with Erling Haaland. I think there's a reason we've seen Manchester City struggle. Their defense certainly has been a problem in the past, but they also went really young on it, so I'm not sure how well that will go. But stay tuned; you'll see that in some sort of YouTube or and Instagram reel as well coming out at the real_G Warner on both those platforms. But Villarreal plus three-quarters of a goal will be the pick. Hopefully, it hits one before kickoff on Tuesday. And make sure you stick around for the Thursday night. We'll do an episode for Thursday action in Europa League as well. And then, of course, the weekend soccer episode coming to a podcast platform near you. Anyway, thanks for all you coming in. 28 minutes late night, but hope everyone had a good time. And let's win some money in a great competitive sport, which not all of them out there that we bet on are.